So for more on this latest aid package to Ukraine, we want to bring in retired Rear Admiral Mark Montgomery. He's a senior fellow at the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, I think, for the public, for the audience, these packages just sound like another one, and we're talking about billions and millions of dollars. I think it's hard to understand the impact that this can have. But this particular package will give Ukraine some new capabilities, I guess air defense systems, which I think they already have, but I don't know if this expands this, and anti-tank weapons. Can we talk about the difference that this aid can have when it comes to moving the front lines?
Well, thank you for having me. And you're absolutely right. This is, an iterative process of a number of packages over years. And this is all underneath the approved, congressionally approved supplemental. So it's not new money. It's spending the money that was authorized. But you're exactly right. It's about getting, like, for example, air defense systems, Patriot air defense systems. We're going to give a battery. But we're doing this in conjunction with 4 other NATO countries. So the Germans, the Romanians, the Dutch, and are all given Patriot batteries as well. And the Italians are going to give what's called a SAMP-T battery, a similar system. And there'll be the Canadians, the UK, and the Norwegians are also giving a different type of system called NASAM. So what this is part of a broad effort to get air defense systems to Ukraine, along with we're also giving Stinger missiles in this. And the reason we're doing this is that the Russians have really stepped up their cruise and ballistic missile and drone attacks on the Ukrainian critical infrastructure. And they need these weapon systems before winter sets in, when those electrical power grid attacks would have, real public health and safety ramifications.
So I know you saw the coverage of the attack on the Children's Hospital in Ukraine. And one of the things that we heard from Ukrainian officials is that, these air defense missiles are fine, but when you're facing a barrage coming from Russia, a missile could slip through. What they want is the ability to attack sites inside Russia. I want to get your take on it. Is the equipment enough, or do restrictions have to be lifted, some of them, on how Ukraine uses some of these weapons?
Well, that's a great point. And certainly that was Zelensky's main bilateral goal during his visit to Washington, to kind of convince President Biden to extend the envelope on which Ukraine can use U.S.-provided ATACMS. That's a long-range artillery round of, in the 300-400 kilometer range. He wants permission to use those into Russian airfields, Russian artillery assembly points. You can't just shoot down every arrow fired at you. At some point, you have to go attack the quiver. And that's what he's asking for, is permission to attack those airfields and those logistics congregation points deeper inside Russia. The weapons can reach there. We've given them the weapons. They know how to fire them. It's just political permissions that Ukraine needs from President Biden.
Well, it's been a long war so far, and it certainly appears as if there's no end in sight. But moving the front line, I guess you can count as a small win. Admiral Mark Montgomery, thank you very much.